Do you know how to manage vendor consignment process on SAP? Are you aware of all these tips and tricks? Have you seen my last video? You will find a complete demo about subcontracting process. Check it out. If you don't want to miss any of these videos again, please subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on. In consignment process, the vendor provides material that you store in your facilities, but the vendor is still the legal owner of the stock until you withdraw the stock from consignment stores. This can happen in two ways. One, if you make a consumption from the consignment stock, from your unrestricted stock, or two, when you transfer your consignment stock to your own stock. Only in that moment, a liability to the vendor is created and an invoice can be generated. Now it's time to jump into the system. So let's take a time to review our master data. So let's start with material master. Here we have a raw material, and let's see what fields are relevant for our scenario. So first of all, we are setting up automatic POs because we are going to use this functionality. And then in MRP 1 view, we have lot for lot EX lot size, procurement type F, external procurement, and special procurement type 10. That is pointed to consignment. This will allow us to create automatically assigned requisitions when we run MRP. And also in MRP2 view, I set up a strategy group, make to stock to 10, so we can create independent requirement for planning purposes. So this is our material master. Now let's take a look at our vendor master. This is pretty much standard. Our vendor has to be created in the company code and in our purchasing organization. So our vendor is 1111, company code 1000, purchasing organization also 1000. And here we also set up the automatic purchase order flag. Okay. This one and the one in material master are necessary to run the automatic PO creation. What else? Then we have to create Inforecord for our vendor and our material in our purchasing order and plant, and this will be Inforecord category consignment. Here we will set up our price, and it's important to have also the tax code because our invoices will be created in the background. It is also necessary to have a source list. So material in plan 1000, we have our source list that is fixed to our vendor, and with indicator 1 as MRP relevant. And the last part is the output conditions. We will need to create our condition records, output type cons. This is the consignment invoice verification. So we have our key, company code, and vendor. So for our records, we have this one. Okay, it's already created, and it will be automatically determined in the future. So this is our master data review.
Now that we have our master data in place, let's start with our process. For that, first let's check our stock, our material in our plan 1000. We can see there is no stock. So let's go to MD04, that was the requirement list. We will see that we don't have anything, not even any requirement. For that, then we can create an independent requirement, transaction MD61, for our part, planning period daily. Okay, so we can schedule it for 1 day. And let's set 1000 for 20 of May. Let's refresh, and we have now our independent requirement. So next step is that we can run MRP, but I see we don't have the profile assigned, so let's do it right away. Okay, so now we have all these buttons. Let's run MRP, single item, and we have one purchase requisition created. If we refresh again, we can see it here. Let's go and take a look. So we have our material with item category K, that is consignment. And we see that it also has our fixed vendor that is assigned. Next step is to convert this requisition into a PO. One option is that you can do it directly from here, and it will go to the PO transaction and you can call the requisition. But as we mentioned before, we will be using the automatic PO creation. So let's go to transaction ME59N, and I have already a variant set up for our purchase organization and our vendor with item category K. So we see now the requisition was automatically converted to our PO. Let's go back and refresh again our requirement list, and our requisition was converted into a PO. Let's go and take a look at our purchase order. So we have our vendor, item category K. See, the net price is empty because good receipts will be non-valuated. Okay. Good, so we can now take this PO and post the goods receipt. For that, we are using transaction IGO. And we are doing a good receipt based on a purchase order. We introduce our number, and we have all the detailed information here. Moment type will be 101. And stock K, that is consignment. We set up item OK, we do the first check, and we're still missing the store allocation 001. Let's do another check. and we are good to go. So now we can post our good receipt. Okay, now that our good receipt was posted, it took some time, but it is already here. So we see our PO, we have the good receipt already in place. So now we can check again our stock overview. And we see that we have under store location 0001 in our plan 1000, we have 100 units in vendor consignment stock. There is also another report that can be used under logistics, material management, inventory management, environment consignment from vendor MB54, and here we also have we have our vendor and material and store location, and the total value 1000. This is 10 units, 100 pieces for the price in our Inforecord that wants this 10 euros per unit.
Respond to these questions right now in the comment below. Do you normally use consignment process in your organization, or is this topic included frequently in your jobs interview? Give a score from 1 to 10, where 1 is never use, never include, to 10, everyday use, always include.
Now that we have our stock in vendor consignment, let's go with the consumptions. We mentioned in our process overview that there are two ways that we can consume or take ownership of the vendor consignment stock. One is a direct consumption from the vendor consignment stock, and the other is that we transfer first the vendor consignment to our own stock, unrestricted stock, and then it can be consumed also from there. Only in that moment we will create the liability for the vendor. So let's go first with the first option. So we are going to consume. So we are going to post a good issue, other, 201K, movement type 201 is a good issue to cost center, and the K is from consignment stock. So for our part, and we have a stock of 100, so we can consume 40 pieces in our plant and storage location from our consignment vendor, and we need to input the cost center. Okay, let's check it out. Document it's okay. Before doing this, we can also take a look at MRKO, that will be our liability report for the settlements. At the moment, we see that for our company code and vendor, we have the option to display and then to settle. So first, take a look to display withdrawals that are not settled. So if we run it, we see that at the moment there's nothing to be shown because we still have not taken ownership of any stock. So let's go back to the good issue and let's post it. Good issue was posted, so let's take a look at our document. So we have 40 units to a cost center 1000. So in this moment, if we make a refresh on our stock, we will see that we have only remaining 60 pieces. And also if we run our settlement display mode, we see that we have already one record show as not settled. Now this is one option, so now we can go with the second option. Second option is to consume, to transfer the stock to our own stock. So for that, we're going to process transfers posting. For our part, 60 units, that's the one that are remaining. And movement type, we're going to use 411K. So 411 is a transfer posting and will be from consignment to own, from our vendor to our planned storage location. We can check again. Okay. And we can post. Okay, document posted. So now we can make another refresh on our stock, and we see that the 60 that we had before under vendor consignment stock now was removed, and we have it only in our unrestricted use stock. If we now make a display on MRKO, we will see that we have both records here, still not settled. To make the settlements, then we have to change the display option for settlement, and we run the report again. Now we can see that we have, for our material documents, we have our invoices created. Okay, so we can check first, for example, the messages, that is our output cons. Okay, it was created here, so we can see that the invoice was created and printed. Also, we can see here our document number for the invoices. Okay. For the first case, okay, we make both settlements in the same moment, okay, in the same financial document. So if we now want to take a look to our postings, we also have transaction MB51 that we can see a material document list. Okay, so here we have our documents for material 101K. This is the good received for the POs, and then we have in red the good issues for the cost center 201, and the transfers to own stock, the 411. As we mentioned already, the good receipts are non-valuated, so no accounting document is created. In the other cases, if we check, for example, the consignment, the consumption to 201, here we have accounting document created. And you see here we have the consumption account of the raw material to our account payable. So from where are coming these accounts? So we can take a look to account determinations. So we have con here, consignment payable. Charge of accounts INT. We have 169900. Okay, this is the account payable that we can see here. Okay, account payable. And then the other, in this case, that is expensive because it is a consumption, that will be the offsetting GBB, BBR, and our valuation class is 3000. So we have this 4000 expenses account, the one here. In the other case, where we have the transfer to own, if we see the documents in finance, we still have our accounts payable, but now we have the inventory. So in this case, the 3000 account, now it's coming from BSX inventory posting with valuation class 3000. We have this account. So in this case, when we make the consumptions or the transfer, we are using or BSX from inventory or GBB/BBR from expenses to accounts payable to coin. Then in the moment that we create the invoice, we are debiting the accounts payable to the vendor. And this is what we can see here. We have the accounts payable to the vendor. At the end of this process, if we refresh again, we still have our 60 pieces in our unrestricted stock. The other 40 were consumed from consignment stock, and we have created in the background our invoices, and the outputs were issued to our vendor.
If you like this video, please give a like, share and subscribe. Also, leave any comment, including what other topic from SAP MM would you like to be included or review on these video sessions. See you next time.